Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Delve Requisite. This week, brought to you by Petting Dogs. Also brought to you, as normal, by Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle, our fantastic sponsors here at Proficiency Bonus. If you are interested in checking out those sponsors, type exclamation point Little Dragon or exclamation point CCG into chat, and you'll get a link to their websites. From Little Dragon Corp, you can buy Dicey Boys. They won't be cool invisible green screen dice like mine, but they'll have numbers on them, and that's really all you need, isn't it? From Cardboard Castle, you can get all of your tabletop needs met. RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons stuff, Pokemon cards. I assume Magic the Gathering, but I don't know anything about that, so figure it out. Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle, thank you to both of you. I'm sorry that our ad read is terrible. Check them out at some point during our stream tonight. This week's episode also brought to you by these little Debbie Pumpkin Delight cookies. It's fall, bitches.
Oh, those are amazing.
And these are the best things. I bought a box of 8 of these yesterday. This is my last one. I have no self-control. Where we last left off, when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons 2 weeks ago, the crew of the Grimm's Folly had returned to their vessel from their shore leave on the mainland, the city of Terra Libra. You guys have undertaken a mission to stop the Brotherhood of Artanis and the Ignean Empire from their nefarious plots. You returned to find yourselves in quite the predicament as the remaining crew of the Grimm's Folly. You rejoined your ship as they were in the middle of combat with a pair of Ignean vessels. You sunk one of them, disabled the other and boarded it, took their captain hostage, and in exchange for rescuing the sailors, the still living sailors from the other ship that you sank, you parlayed for information from him, finding out that this group was a series of scouting parties that had been deployed behind the main armada to scour the island chains for hiding pirates or remnants of the Mithlindian Navy in the area. Your second mate, Apora Dazan, as your ship was moored in Naporia's harbor, made the decision when it seemed only to be a matter of time before this particular scouting group came to Naporia and discovered both you in your stolen Ignean warship, as well as the remnants of the destroyed diplomatic envoy in their harbor, and trouble befell Naporia. Apora decided to essentially use the Grimm's Folly as a decoy and lure trouble away from Naporia. And that is where you guys came back into the scene. You learned that the scouting group in particular that you had intercepted, their orders were to meet up with a fragment of the Ignean armada that was to break off of the main battle group, which was heading around to the Cape of Honorand to the western shore of Mithlinde. This small, sort of discreet group of ships, is heading for Mount Iolaquis, to the south of the archipelago. And that some sort of a special detachment, a special strike force, a small group of people are traveling with that group of ships to Mount Iolaquis for some sort of a top secret need to know mission. You parted ways with the Ignean captain and the surviving sailors, allowing them to limp back to a friendly port with their vessel, as agreed upon by your arrangement. You guys sort of spent some time planting some seeds of doubt about the governmental structure that Ignean in particular served, and then you sent them on their way. So what I am going to do tonight is give you guys a little bit of an opportunity before I start doing anything necessarily. What you know, since you kind of know your destination, at this point. Unless I'm misinterpreting your stuff from last week, the plan is to go to Mount Iolocus and see what they're doing down there.
Yeah, I think we first want to go to Naporia first to pick up some things, but yeah.
Oh, okay. That is certainly doable. You guys know you are about 2.5 days south by southwest of Naporia. Mount Iolocus is from your current location. Mount Iolocus is 12 days at sea. So it'll end up being let's call it 2 days back to Naporia, and then it would be 14 days south to head for Mount Iolocus on the tail of whatever this battle group is heading in that direction for. Then let's postpone what I was going to prompt you with and say, so the plan here is turn around and head back to Naporia.
Unless that was my impression. I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for the party.
Well, wait, what do we need to do there?
Pick up other ships.
Do we need the other ships?
The Don't Try Us is like ferried on the Grimm's Folly. You do have that one with you.
Well, we do still have the kids there. Should we send word back?
I think
kids
we
are
should
still
leave
on
the kids on land if we're about to go.
Leave the kids on the Naporia.
Is there anyone else that we accidentally left at Naporia?
No, I think the crew's on the
I do not believe anybody was accidentally left at Naporia. The only people that got left at Naporia were the people from Umyath Darai that didn't want to join a life of piracy, and then the 2 children that you left under your father's tutelage, and Ugatumbe, who is watching them.
Their guardian, kind of at this point. Yeah.
Well then that doesn't make me feel as bad then. I'm actually okay with us not going back because Dad gave me an oath that he would protect them as his own, so he can keep doing that for the next few weeks.
Okay.
I mean, we could still send word somehow. We have the messenger birds.
You have messenger birds. You can send messages to and from wherever if you'd like.
So we could just send a message saying, let us know if you're safe and please take care of the kids. We'll get back to you when we can.
Yeah, and I will just not to sway the decision one way or the other, but just to give you the complete picture. You are aware that further north, time yes, and also further north, up in that direction, you know that there are more Ignean scouting groups. You did learn from him that there are other groups that he was supposed to reconvene with, and that in chasing the Grimm's Folly, you have outstripped those groups, but. That is something that will be a factor if you do want to go back to Naporia. Is you're gonna have to contend with.
No, that helps.
Hiding from them.
Things for me anyway, so I'm okay with us just going straight there then. Unless there's anything else that we need at Naporia, I don't think so.
I cannot remember. Did we get information on how far ahead this group of did we ask that question and get that information how far ahead this group of ships was
I don't think you asked that question to the captain. Apora Dazan can provide you with some information on that front as they did watch the the armada passed through the region of island chain that they were in. So the main piece of the armada has a 5-ish day jump start on you guys, depending on whether they are sailing, pulling multiple shifts and continuing to sail day and night, or anything else. They're the better part of a week ahead of you guys for the time that you spent in in the city, and then everything else like that. They'd be further ahead if not for the fact that Apora
pulled out.
Essentially kited a bunch of scout ships for a few days south. other than that, that's sort of your best intel at the moment. Is you don't know what they may or may not have done after.
Did Apora happen to mention like a guesstimate of how many ships were with this group?
The full armada probably didn't sail in one big chunk like past like visual distance from Naporia. A number of ships went past. You guys know from when you saw it in the shipyards in Umyath Darai that the armada is hundreds of ships strong.
I kind of wasn't concerned. I know it has hundreds of ships, but I'm talking about this like special group. The ones that veered off, they decided to go to the mount.
They would not have done that at the point that they passed Apora. I don't think you got an indication. The only like indication that you got was that it is like a much smaller, like it's essentially supposed to be a stealth operation, so it's not like 70 ships just like rolled up on this. So it's probably a smaller quantity of ships. Any other like follow-up recap question, anything like that to clarify, or you guys feel like you kind of understand the lay of the land?
Can we do repairs to a certain extent on the ship as we go?
Yes, you have the supplies on board the ship to effect repairs. Details for that are on your.
Yeah, we took some.
You can do, none of your like main components of your ship have been broken, so you can continue to sail unimpeded while effecting repairs to your ship. No problem.
The magic sails, even though they were struck at, they're still working. So
magic sails are still functioning. They were not necessarily damaged.
Okay.
Cool. So you've got we'll say that kind of happens in the background as we travel here. You can just spend the appropriate amount of your your ship's resources per hit points that you're restoring to your vessel. And Anna Cromwell leads work crews during the day to repair any damage that you guys took during the fight. So what I want to do, it is going to take you guys, like I said, it's going to take you from here, it's going to take you about 12 days to get into like the vicinity of Mount Iolaquis, and specifically like the like atoll that surrounds it. I'm hoping I'm using that term correctly. It's like the sort of like ring of narrow barrier islands that form around a like volcanic island. That's sort of where you're heading. So I'm going to kind of, before I do any other like prompting of you, this was a conversation we had off camera, but like y'all have a little bit of downtime now. You have, the better part of 2 weeks where like barring anything popping up, like you're just at sea. So if you guys want to take this time to work on any like personal projects, to have conversations with each other, to have conversations with any of the NPCs on the ship, anything like that, now is kind of the time to do that. You just gotta, let me know what you want to do, or shout out to your fellow players or whatever else, and once you guys kind of feel you've hit anything that you want to hit, I will, I'll push the narrative forward.
Something silly and quick that I want to do really fast.
Go for it.
I'm gonna run down to the kitchens where Grohl is.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out the self-cleaning pots and pans that I got from Sears.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited, like unreasonably excited about this, and to show him.
You pull the you pull this like this set of pots and pans out, and he kind of like he eyes it. He says, "All right, I'll bite."
I will.
It's pots and pans.
Behind Rowan, like just over her shoulder, I just drop a brand new soup ladle, and then I run away because it's from my robe of useful items. I'm like, here, bye.
He looks the ladle like cling into the pan, and then Nimue like runs up the stairs. He's, I'm very confused. I'm not. I don't think it's my birthday.
Well, we don't. I don't know your birthday. We're gonna have to get a list of everyone's birthdays on the ship and do probably just one big party since we've probably missed a ton. I'll talk to the.
I guess to be a boy, you got to do like a cake in the break room every time it's somebody's birthday.
Maybe we should do one big party.
Much.
We pick one day every year that we just do one huge party.
Yeah, we just call it the birthday.
Yeah. Cover everybody.
All at once.
Only
Cake
once,
ingredients ain't cheap either. It's good if I'm
exactly, and it's hard to make on the middle of the ocean. Yeah. But
anyway,
no,
but you've brought me pots and pans.
They are magic pots and pans. They will clean themselves, so it'll save us some time and clean up after prep and dinner. I saw them and I was like, well, girl needs those, and I bought them, and here you go. And I'm like just really smiley. And it's just like a complete like weird reversal of like our first interaction where it was like glares and trying to sneak knives and stuff.
He kind of takes the pots and pans and he puts them over on his like little workstation. He kind of looks at some of the fairly beat up ones that he has there, and he's got his back to you, and he's like taking a pan down, and then he like replaces it with a new one. He very like intentionally makes the switch of all of these, and you get the sense that he's like ruminating on something. And when he turns back, he's got a kind of a furrow to his brow, like he's trying to mull out how he wants to phrase something to you. And eventually he says, "The conditions of my employment on this ship, I have been looking at them something like penance. I don't understand this gift."
You remember the first day we saw each other?
I do.
Do you remember what you gave me that day?
If I remember correctly, I believe it were an apple.
There were 2 apples. I was a slave on a ship, and yeah, there's penance involved for you on that, but you had no reason to give them to me. And since that day, you tried to help us fight a scary, crazy, body-morphing witch elven woman. You accepted your fate to stay hidden on an island to not get turned into the Navy and risked death. And when we came back for you, you told us you were looking at this as a second chance. And since then, you've done nothing but help keep the crew running and fed, and no one's said a bad thing about you. So why can't you have nice pots and pans to cook our meals in that you don't have to clean?
He says, "I appreciate that sentiment, and I will reiterate the thing I said to you when I first encountered you. You have a good heart and a noble one. That much is plain. But if it is all well with you, and I do not mean this with disrespect, I think still I will need to accept this gift on behalf of the benefit to the crew of the ship, and not on behalf of myself. I don't think I yet deserve it."
Fine. It is, in a way, a gift to the ship. It saves somebody from dishes duty once a night. and you'll feel you deserve it when you get there.
He kind of nods a little bit.
I really just wanted a reason to come bug you. I haven't been down here that often, and when I saw them, all I thought of was the ship needing new pots and pans, and then I felt bad I hadn't been down here in a while, and here we are.
Indeed, there is a serious lack of neglect of the bean duty to which I believe you was assigned, if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yeah, I gotta get back down here. But we'll be on the ship for a while, so I'm not running off.
So
anytime.
good. Stew tonight. Don't be late
Stew
for
tonight.
dinner.
I won't.
About this time, Nimue runs back and plops down 2 brand new salt and pepper shakers. I'm like, oh, I forgot this. Here you go. Bye.
As she runs out again, I just point at the ladle and the salt and pepper shaker, and I go, she got a nifty coat that has weird magic pockets and has random things in it, and I guess those are things from the coat. What is she going to do with a ladle and a salt and pepper shaker?
Far be it from me to question my superior officers, but in all of my years of experience, people will run around with their coats, pockets stuffed to the brim with ladles and salt shakers and other bits of random detritus are not generally considered to be in their right minds.
You've met all of the officers on this ship, right?
You know what? Actually, I heard it. I heard it as it was coming out of my mouth.
I clap him on the shoulder and I just kind of like give it like one of those like playful like shakes. And I go, "I'll see you for dinner prep tonight."
Will do. And as you like walk up the stairs, you're like, "Oi!" And you turn it back. You turn back, and he like tosses an apple to you.
I smile and I go back up on the main deck.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oh God, I really wanna. I kind of wanna wait for some point in time where Rowan is like maybe alone, and I would like to corner her. But by corner her, I mean I literally just like drag her to a part of the ship that like no one else is at.
All right.
Like I just am like, I come out of a doorway and like as she's walking by, I just pull her into it. Yoink.
Cool. I guess we could do that now.
Hello.
You know, you didn't have to yank me by my armor. Like
you would not have come otherwise.
When do I not come when you call my name?
You do, but if you know what I want to ask you about, then you would probably avoid it like you have in the past.
Fair. If I think I know where you're going, then yeah, probably, but I mean, so you know you don't have to like. And I look around at like the literal corner she's put me into. I'm like, literally do this to get my attention. I'm happy to talk to you at any point. I just never know if you want to talk to me.
I always want to talk to, well, you and Nimue and Thixus and Captain, but everybody else is, if I never spoke to them again, I think I would be alright.
Tea kettle?
Yes, tea kettle. I would, if I had to choose one person to talk to, I would choose tea kettle, but the rest of you are a close second.
I think we would all pick tea kettle over each other, to be fair. Is there a kind of like motion? I'm like, what's up? You're gonna actually have to tell me what you want to know.
Are you alright?
Are any of us? And I'm not saying that to be a smartass. It's a legitimate question.
Gregory. It is not the first time I have seen you take this very protective stance, which I support you and Nimue and I supported you in everything there, but it is, I wonder what happened to make you like this.
The shortest answer is we've watched a lot of people we know die since we've met each other. And before then, I watched other people die. And every time I think I know something or can do something to help, I'm wrong. I didn't want Gregory to come with us because I feared him dying, and he almost died.
Why are you responsible for them? Or rather, why do you feel like you should be responsible for them? Because you are not. And if I may point out, if I were to tell you that you could not go somewhere, how would you react?
If you told me not to go somewhere, I would probably listen to you. If Captain told me not to go somewhere, that'd be another.
At least you are intelligent. I fear Thixus would not listen to any of us and he would just go. For such a smart man, I think he would make a very bad decision. So would Nimue, if we are going to...
We all have our blind spots.
In fact, I think you are the only one who would listen to me. But if anyone else were to tell you, if your parents were to tell you, if Captain were to tell you you could not do something, how would that make you feel?
I would be annoyed. But if they had a good enough reason, like, I don't want you to die, this is dangerous, I would at least listen.
And yet is your life not your choice? You
It
decide
is. But
what do you do with it?
We found Gregory floating in a shipwreck. And we pulled him out of that. And we made him part of the crew. And then we got to Terra Libra because he wanted to go back on land. And then he told us something weird was happening to him. And I got worried. And then when we found out that it was potentially problematic or dangerous, I wanted him to go back and stay safe because despite being a guard, he had friends and people to get back to. And I didn't want to risk that. And I didn't know if I could get to him in time if I had to. And I barely did. And that scared me much more than I thought it would for somebody I'd only known for a short time. Because it's what happened with Poole. And Thorn. And the Naporian women that we found along the way too. I'm tired of everyone dying. And I can't stop it. So if I can make somebody go sit down and not get involved, I'm gonna try. I can't control you, or Nimue, or Captain, or Thixus. But I had hoped that because we were the officers on the ship and we brought Gregory to Terra Libra, he might have listened. It didn't work.
Quick timeout. I just saw your message. Should we
it's
call?
good.
Okay.
I do not have responsibilities to get to yet.
Okay. Back in. Do you know why I was so upset when we were at the conservatory?
Other than you telling us you missed home at the end, I have no clue.
Because some things are meant to be free. Even if it means that is the end. That is the natural way of things. And I think you will find that the people in your life would be happier finding a quick end, but free, than living in a cage. Even if you put them there out of love.
Fair. Hadn't thought of it like that, but...
We get to make our own choices. That is why I do not like that diviner. I shall not even speak his name. It is not his choice to make decisions or guide us. My life is my choice to decide how I will live it. Just as your life is yours to decide. And yes, we work together. And we chart a course on our lives. together, but where you go in the end is for you. When your end comes, it will be on your terms. Do not worry, I will make sure that that is the case.
With you watching my back, I have no doubt. With Gregory, I felt if he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, that's fine. But from what little we knew of him, and from the apparent connection he has with the fools that we met, he has people. And if he was a guard, he has people who he was close with, and that means he probably has people he'd rather fight beside and die beside besides us.
Oh, I do not doubt that, and I do not doubt that in the end he is grateful that you cared enough to try to protect his life, but everybody has people. I will watch all of you die before I myself go. It will be a long, long time. Your life I have lived twice over. 3, 4 times. You are in your 20s. Add 100 years to that, and that is where I am. It is a blink. Your lifespan is a blink to the captain, too. I will watch you go. All I can hope for is that it is on your terms.
You say everyone has people, and you're gonna watch all of us go. And that's fair. It's the nature of our differences. But where are your people? The ones that you won't watch go?
I would imagine that, like... okay, if we're in a cabin or something and
Threw
there's
down
like a
that
little...
Uno reverse, like,
Yeah,
so
reverse.
hard.
My people are here on this ship. And the rest of them, although I have not seen them for some time, I still make choices for their sake. But just because I do not see them, just because I am not with them, does not mean that I do not care. But I made a choice for how I wished to live my life, and they made choices for how they wished to live theirs. And when I could not bend them to my will, nor they could bend me to theirs, I decided to leave so that we on our own paths could continue forward.
Considering that's the most that Sela's ever talked about anything in her past, Rowan's just filing it away for later. I just look at her and go, I'll think about what you said. You're right, it isn't my choice to decide everyone's fate. But I would really like to not see anyone else die.
You have the burden of a protector on your shoulders. That is a noble burden to carry.
I don't think it's noble. I think it's bordering on psychotic at this point, but it is what it is.
Why can't they both... Why do they have to be mutually exclusive?
Fair. I mean, look at us. We're all suddenly pirates. Even though we've been doing this for a while, it feels like we literally just showed up and here we are.
You're doing a decent enough job of it. Certainly more pleasant to be around than a lot of the pirates I was spending time with before all of this happened.
I think we need to hear more about the past pirate stuff, just for the sake of comparing our awesome crew to shitty crews.
There's not much to say.
I will be mindful to not restrict people.
It's a balance, you will find it. I am confident in your abilities.
Well, at least somebody is. But thank you.
If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here with you. And I will release you from the coven that I have you in.
I smile up at Sela, because I have to, like, even though I'm not so sure, I have to look up at her. And I just smile at her and I say, you know, talk talking about our stuff is hard, but I really don't think you have to yank me by my armor next time. Just... It is nice to talk to people sometimes. Just call me over.
I will give you a warning before I yank the next time.
Warning is improvement. I'll take it. I smile at her and I try to keep going without getting yanked back in the corner again. Kind of like...
Okay. So as you guys sort of part your ways and go back about your days, I would like both of you to take a point of inspiration, please. As that was
so
powerful.
Okay.
By the covering of the camera, I assume that the work thing has commenced, and Brittany will be back with us momentarily.
Rip.
It'll
Sorry.
literally take me like 3 minutes, 4 minutes tops. Bye.
Hey, let's take a pause from game real quick. Hey, if you're out there in internet land, you're one of Brittany's coworkers. Get it together. Stream starts at 7 o'clock, and I need you to finish your work on time.
No, don't say that. I have coworkers that watch this game. They are not the problem.
I love you. You work at a company that provides the necessary capital for my my dear beloved friend to like have a roof and food and shelter and things like that. But business hours. Stream starts at 7. That's important. Anyway, anything else y'all want to throw out on the table before I throw something at you?
I kill everyone.
You kill everyone? All right. Well, this has been the final episode of Delph Requisite. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us on this grand experiment in narrative blue balls that we've all been doing. There will be no satisfying conclusion to this story. It just ends with Sela declaring that she kills everyone, and then the stream ends forever.
Yeah, and nobody gets to roll. I just do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
God mode.
Even if we had to roll, we would just like roll over, and be like, "Yeah, go ahead, you win."
Oh no, Scylla has enabled cheats.
Oh no, she's on mod mode.
I don't know when you're planning on. Are you planning on doing what you have planned for us, like after the 12-day journey, or are you doing something?
No, it will be as part. It would be like part of the way through the journey. So like, okay. I'm gonna when you guys feel comfortable, like I'm gonna interrupt y'all at day 6, essentially, with a random encounter.
Lexus would want to talk to Captain, but not until we're getting closer to our destination.
Then in that case, you guys call it day, like, we'll call it day 8 of 12. I don't know if this is a thing that you have expressly stated. I've kind of been assuming that it's like a thing that you're doing. Your like detect weather druid thing, is that a thing that like Sela does every day? Okay.
Yeah.
So you get some.
Yeah.
You get some advanced warning on this. You guys like essentially like the dawn shift, the first shift of the day, begins on the 8th day of sailing. The third shift crew goes down below decks to like go to sleep. They're replaced by another group of sailors, including you guys. Sealy, you go, you look, and you are able to determine with your like divining of the weather patterns in your local region today, that not today, but probably tomorrow, you're in for some rough weather. What you kind of detect today is you detect like the gathering of a storm front, that you can kind of tell like you guys are sailing straight into. So by like the end of today, overnight into tomorrow, you guys are going to have to make. Let's see if those smiley faces show up on OBS.
They don't.
They did a little. They did a little bit. They popped up in Brittany's window. The storm that is approaching is going to be kind of a doozy. So you guys are going to have to kind of make some decisions here.
Have we gotten through most of the repairs at this point? Like, how much could we have?
How many hit points? Like, how many hit points were you repairing?
Good question.
Yes.
Yes.
What?
As
Yeah.
many as
All
we
the
can.
hit
Let me.
points,
So
all
you
of
have
them.
like on your ship spreadsheet, there should be like a hit points repaired per units of repair materials.
Yeah, because don't we get an extra 100 HP? Our sails are like at less than half, so we need to repair those. And then
Your maximum hit point
20.
is 400 out of 300.
yeah, and we're at 360.
Okay. So my inclination is to be like you can I don't know if I want to get too in the weeds on it, but I was going to say you can like roll a d20 per day of travel. And I was going to say like 10 or below, and you can affect like 1 unit of repair, which is like if a...
Yeah, one
Uh,
unit does 20
20
damage.
So like you can like
With
normally
10
with a
units.
10 or below, you can use 1 unit and affect and repair 20 hit points of damage. If you roll above a 10, you can do 2 in a day and repair 40 hit
okay.
points of damage.
I think we need to repair
But I think
our
what that
sails
I think what
first.
that tells me though is that like having traveled for 8 days, like you're regardless of having to actually do any rolls, you're back to full at this point. Yeah, so assuming you
okay.
have enough pieces of like enough units of materials to affect that
have-
much HP.
We have 10
Okay.
units. Do you want me to just like roll on the side and put it in our chat so that we know how many like we used out of that 10?
You used the like
Do we
you
use all
use
of them?
per 20 hit points you repair, you use 1 unit. The question is of whether you can use 1 unit or 2 units per day to do
Okay.
20 or 40 hit
Oh,
points.
so it's just a matter of whether or not we
It's
can
like
use
how
them
fast
faster.
and
Okay.
efficiently
I'll
like the
calculate how
repair
many
crews
we
are
need
working.
then.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just figure out how many you needed to use. We'll say you are fully repaired at this point, as with 8 days of travel, you should be able to get your ship up to back up to full.
Cool.
Sealy, you see that there is a storm front gathering. You estimate within the next 8 to 10 hours, you guys are going to sail directly into it. That is going to leave you guys with a choice to make. You are going to need to either sail into the storm, stay on course, steady as she goes, try and attempt to make the most direct approach, on the tail of the Ignians to the Iolocus Atoll. Bearing whatever dangers sailing into a storm of this size might come with. Or you need to sail around it, making you safer, but costing you time.
I grab everybody. Well, first they say I am grabbing you, and then I grab them and I bring them to the stern castle, the shippy, the wheelie boy. I bring them to the wheelie boy.
The Wheelie Boy,
Stern
that's what it's called.
castle. Yep, the wheelie boy. We are there. Everybody's there. Pora is also there. And I druidcraft. I take my like little I like pour out the water, and then it becomes like a little orb, and I cast druidcraft into it, and you say the stormy clouds and waves.
Do you say it like that?
No.
No,
I don't
you
say
think
anything
it
at
like
all.
that though.
Yeah. If we want to make good time, we will need to go through this. If we want to stay safe, we might lose precious days, and we are already several behind them. What do we do?
I'm okay pushing forward.
I've driven through storms before. Like, I'll do it again.
I can also, I mean, if we are up against rough winds or waters that are not in their favor for a short amount of time, I can help us with that. Do we want to go through?
Rowan, Texas, how you feeling?
I'll go along with whatever you guys want to do, really. I mean, if you think it's the best option for us.
It is not necessarily the best option, but it is the fastest one, which I think is
Important.
ultimately the best.
Apora's in the room, right?
Yes.
Apora says, are you able to determine the severity of this storm via your druidic magics? A direct route is a faster route to our destination, unless our ship sustains damage or sinks, in which case we will be further delayed or dead.
Aura, that is the risk you take as a pirate.
I am making no statements one way or the other about an opinion on what to do. I am merely curious as if we are able to make a more informed decision about the severity of the storm we are deciding to brave.
I can only see the weather. I can only see the weather at our current location ahead for the next 24 hours, but if it is rain, it will show rain. If it is a storm, it will show that. As far as like the effect that I'm seeing, I mean, is it like a big lightning cloud and there's explosions in the sky, or is it
I
just
think
like rain?
you're seeing turbulent sea and swirling clouds and lightning, and
I'm gonna
guess you're
make
not
a
seeing thunder.
whirlpool.
And you make a little whirlpool.
No, I don't.
That might change some things. I don't want to run into a whirlpool.
No, get this hot tub out of here.
The waters will be rough.
Just out of curiosity, how much, Rowan, Nimue, you guys have been on the Don't Try Us. How much faster is it than the Grimm's Folly?
Good question.
I think we might have that on the sheet. Hold on.
If it is, see if it's on the sheet, and then I can give you the
Well, I
general,
can tell
the
you
general vibe.
that its initiative is 0, whereas the Grimm's Folly's initiative is like minus a lot.
Yeah.
So
That's all.
mean,
I have
feel
not
like
codified the speeds of ships to that degree on purpose, as like that becomes a slog, and I'd rather handle it narratively.
Right.
So in the sense of like what's going on here, the Don't Try Us. So if your journey was going to take you 12 days in the Grimm's Folly, you probably could have done it in. They should still be in the. I don't know. Let me set them up to vamp for a minute. I can help you look. We have a missing brioche buns situation that I'm gonna have to come help deal with in a second.
Dear God.
Dear God, my God. The Don't Try Us. The Don't Try Us probably could do it in could have done like a 12-day journey in probably 8 days. The main problem with the Don't Try Us, it is faster, but it is smaller. So the Grimm's Folly, over a longer period of time, has the advantage of the fact that you have enough crew on her that you can run shifts, so the ship can continue to sail 24 hours a day. Whereas the Don't Try Us really only has enough room for the 5 of you, and maybe one other, and it's not a ship that is really designed for weeks-long journeys.
Yeah, because it can't hold the supplies we would need either.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Captain, I think what I'm worried about is
Let me resolve the brioche nightmare. I'll be back.
I think the Grimm's Folly can handle it. I just don't know if the Don't Try Us is going to make it through.
To the side of the ship, so I think it'll be okay as long as it's not loose in the water itself.
Yeah, it's tied to the ship, right?
I mean, we could send a small group on the Don't Try Us around and send the Grimm's Folly through. I mean, Captain, how much experience, Captain, do you have in these waters here? Have you been in these waters before here?
I'm going to assume yes. I don't.
More or less.
Yeah, more or less.
You will all
I'm just
be
wondering-
massively relieved to know that the brioche buns have been located.
Oh my god.
We can all sigh a huge sigh of
I was
relief.
about to have a full blown meltdown on stream, so you're very lucky that you found them.
I was dialing 911.
911 bun.
Yeah,
If you will.
9 bun. Somebody dial 9 bun.
I think Nimue
That's
said
the
something
skirt.
that may actually have been on topic. What was that, Nimue? Oh, I thought you said something that was actually like D&D related, and I was like, everybody shut up about buns. Let me see what Christy said.
I said 911, yes, hello.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Nope.
She's as feral as the rest of us. Never mind.
Oh, and chat just gave bardic inspiration to the brioche buns.
And it's not for anybody. It's for the buns.
The source for the
It is
buns.
for the buns.
Excellent use of resources.
I did say that, like, I just wanted to confirm that, like, the don't try us is, like, strapped to the boat.
Yes,
right
it is.
now.
It is like it is on like the side of the Grimm's Folly.
Right. The suggestion, so we could, in theory, but, like, also, we're sending our crew through the storm while we take the safe route around and hope that we both meet up on the other side.
No, I think
No, it's the
like,
other
I
way.
think Pegasus was saying put some, but like other
But
people.
then we don't
on
have
it.
as much crew
Mm,
to
yeah.
help with the storm if it's like an all hands on deck situation.
Probably safer just to,
I'd rather just stay together.
yeah, stay together. It's a good idea, though, if we need to use the don't try us when we're closer, gain, like, a stealthy,
Yeah,
quick entrance.
I think I don't like storms,
Aw.
but I also don't know a better way to deal with this. If Captain's confident he can get us through the storm, and the crew is confident they can help get us through the storm, and we can all help.
Yeah, look, we have people here that are experienced with this thing. Not all of us are, but most of us are.
You
I
only
look
get the experience from living through it.
I mean, I look at Apora and I go, "Do you think the crew could handle a storm?"
The crew is competent.
They don't have a choice.
Well, the choice could be that we go around and save all the
Technically
trouble.
accurate, but likely an unnecessary distinction. They will not flinch at the decision to brave the storm.
You should take off your armor, Rowan. During the
Yeah.
storm.
I didn't want to say anything, but
I
you
start
should make
unbuckling.
that should generally be a habit while aboard
No.
a seafaring vessel at all times.
It usually is, but every time I feel like I think about taking it off. Like I thought about taking it off at in Terra Libra right before we like went through the portal, and then we landed in the middle of a battle. So like every time I think about it, I feel like I'm gonna need it. But if this is a storm and not an armada,
Right.
I'm good. So yeah, Rowan just starts unbuckling and like
I help you unbuckle.
Doff.
It could
You
be.
doff your
It could be.
armor.
It could be the Armada's doing. They may have a deck which is more powerful than me. I don't know.
You really think so?
I don't think so. I think it's possible, though.
I mean, they're already messing around with crazy soul magic, so who knows what else they have access to.
Do you think they know that we're following them?
I think they have to assume anything at this point. But I also think storms just happen.
That's true.
I mean, if they don't, they will when that guy goes back and requests to upgrade our bounty.
yeah.
It seems unlikely at this point that the Armada, or specifically this secret side group, is aware that anyone specifically is following them, but they are clearly taking precautions and wary of the possibility.
Yeah.
While our approach may not be known, they will be on the lookout for it.
And after we absolutely dunk on them yet again, I think they will start working under the assumption that we are constantly tracking their movements. So this may be the last time we have the element of surprise.
You say that, and you see Apora, like, furrows their brow and is like,
Dunk like you dunk them underwater.
that, an apt An apt burn. I like it.
I guess what we need to decide is if getting there faster is more important than getting there safer. Because, I mean, if the storm is that bad, we do risk a lot of problems.
Have you any information on what their goal is in the area?
Something sussy.
If they are going to an island that has a
Vague.
volcano on it, I think that is concern enough to warrant us going through a
Probably from
storm.
sacrificial bullshit.
The
Mount
captain we spoke
Iolaquis
with-
has been dormant for centuries.
Well, you know, that statue that was on that island when we found that woman was also dormant, and yet it turned her into a walking corpse, so...
I do not have the context for that,
He
as
wasn't
I was not there.
Yeah,
It
you
does-
weren't there, it's fine. We found some lady, and yeah.
Just know that it was bad.
The
I
captain.
I almost died, it was bad.
Rowan's eyes go wide for a second. The captain we spoke with admitted he was not of high enough rank to know what the mission for them was, other than that it was a special team going there. Which, if anything special team from the Ignians is happening, I am concerned and don't trust it. So,
Exactly that.
Do you guys think that the potential that the special team is going to be the Brotherhood? That it's not the Ignians at all?
It very well could be.
You
This
can
could
all
put
pull
us-
that up, yes.
I mean, I don't doubt that there's Ignians that are part of the Brotherhood, and I don't doubt that it could just be both. It could be one person, maybe the person leading the team is a member of the Brotherhood.
Whatever
don't
they
know.
need to do on an island that has for a long time only been home to peaceful goblin tribes, whatever they need to do there, it is not good. And I think that unknown factor is big enough that it warrants us going through the storm.
I can get behind that.
You see, like, Apora is kind of like looking, as it seems like the dissenting opinions through the storm seem to have like be not like no further seem to be forthcoming. Apora like nods and is like, "I will inform the crew to make ready for the storm." And they
Everyone had a nice snap.
they turn and they head out of there, and you immediately hear like the door to the captain's cabin like closes, and like immediately the decibel level. Apora does that thing that they do where like even though it doesn't seem like they raise their voice, that like projects out. So that same sort of like rasp just like booms across the ship, and you just hear, "Make ready. Bad weather on the horizon, and we mean to brave the heart of the storm." And you hear like foot patters begin to move as the hatches are summarily battened.
Later in this day, like,
Okay.
I guess, like, maybe, like, at night, before we actually hit the storm proper, I am just ritual casting water breathing on everybody. Like,
Okay.
the whole damn ship. In batches of 10, every last person is getting a water breathing.
Okay. How long does that last?
24 hours.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll do it again the next night if I have to.
Alrighty. Okay, so you guys sail through the day. The clouds above begin to gather. The sky gets progressively dimmer and grimmer throughout the course of the day. The wind picks up. It is, for a little while, at your backs, which propels you further and faster for a while. But eventually it begins to turn on you, and it becomes rather turbulent. And even just continuing to progress upon your same course begins to prove its own test of the crew's skill at navigation and operation of the ship. Murderbeard at the helm. I would like you to make a. We came up with a boat stuff, right? Boat stuff was the role that we decided. I think if I'm remembering correctly, what I said was boat stuff was the role, and y'all can basically just use your like whatever your best modifier is your like boat stuff modifier, and we kind of will justify how you specifically use that like skill set to affect that. So Murderbeard at the helm as you guys like sail into the storm, and you are at the helm. You are commanding the crew who is on deck, like working the working the sails, manning the jibs, navigating as best they can through this. Make me a boat stuff roll, and let's see how you guys fare as you sail into the leading edge of the storm.
I'm using whatever my best.
So probably your dex, I'm assuming.
Yeah. 22.
22. Alrighty, you guys, you sail into the storm. Murderbeard, you're at the helm. You are like steering into waves, steering against waves, trying to keep yourselves from getting hit dead on by the increasingly like rising size of the waves. You're rolling with them. Constantly, the crew is having to like let in and take out sail to try and catch the like increasingly turbulent gusts to keep you moving on course. You manage miraculously to like essentially make progress along your course for the rest of the day. Which is exactly what you were going for. Like, had you diverted course, you would have lost the remainder of this day on, like, forward progress. You have managed to navigate through the storm, but by nightfall, as you go into night, Sela, you're kind of still manning the helm. The deck lamps are lit. The rain begins to fall now. You can, on, like, below the stern castle, you can hear the, like, continuing, the repetitious repeating of the chanting and this, like, thrumming like aquamarine glow coming from where you can see or you can hear Sela like casting her spell on like rotations of crew members who like Apora is directing in groups to like go over and like gather around her as she casts this spell. What are Thyxis, Nimue, and Rowan doing at this point? As you guys have hit like nightfall at this point, and the waters are extremely choppy. The rain is quite heavy. Crew are being basically ferried in. Sela is like casting this magic on waves of folks. What are you guys up to at this point?
With the raised level of volume. With the waves and the wind and the storm and everything, I think Thyxis will go as close to Captain as he can get. Find some place that he can hold on. And he would continuously cast the cantrip message towards people to give them instructions from the captain. So he can whisper to them and then be able to hear the instructions clearly.
Okay, that is extremely cool. I think I'm gonna give a solid +2 to all of your guys' checks for the remainder of this like storm encounter, to represent Thyxis doing that, negating the sort of like turbulence of the.
So basically, Captain just has to give the commands to me, and all I have to do is point to the person, and I can whisper, and they just hear it, and they can respond to me with a whisper.
Very cool. Okay. Let's. I think this is. This is more fitting. You guys roll into the. You roll into the heart of the storm at this point.
Nimue will be using her new telekinesis from her like Kellis jar upgrade. She can now move up to large creatures with just her mind. So I think she's gonna be doing that with like the ropes or whatever that needs to be moved. Like I think Nimue is gonna be doing that.
Okay, cool. All right. Excellent. I have an idea for that as well. Very good. Okay, so you do that. Rowan, what do you got? As you're into the heart of the storm now.
Rowan, having gotten rid of her armor and is just diving in with the crew and is probably wherever she sees crew that's particularly tired or has been out there the longest, she is sticking with that part of the crew and is using her aura of protection to grant them +3 bonus to all saving throws that they need to make to keep things running. So she's sticking with anyone who might need the extra help because they're getting drenched, they're tired, they're aching, and she's using muscle and everything of her own power to help move it along, but she's really there trying to spread the aura to keep everyone moving and upright.
Okay. So as we move into the blackest part of the night, the storm grows in ferocity and intensity. The ship is being tossed about. You guys, a few hours ago, you had to abandon the attempt to continue moving in a south by southwesterly direction, and at this point, it is simply about moving through the storm and not capsizing the boat. The storm is vicious. And I think what we see as you guys rage through these torrents of water that are coming down, illuminated occasionally by these cracks of lightning that light up the sky, we see sort of flashes of images across the deck. We see sort of Murderbeard, his beard, the volume of it has been cut in half as it is completely soaked and damp, and it's now, instead of this big voluminous thing, it is now this single mass of swinging dreadlocked just gnarl. It as the ship rocks and thrashes and Murderbeard is throwing the wheel back and forth. We occasionally we see that glint of burning coal in his eyes of the magic that he has been imbued with. That his beard swings and almost seems to take on a life of its own as these tendrils of it lash out as he steers the ship. Beside him, Thyxus with an arm wrapped around the railing of the stern castle is taking direction from Murderbeard and leaning over, pointing across the deck and whispering, and we follow the wave of magic across to him as it reaches the ear of one of the crew members, who turns and nods and goes about whatever task Murderbeard had given him. We see in another scene, we see several crew members who are heaving on a rope of a length of sail that has come unfurled and has caught a gale that is threatening to corkscrew the ship. We see a crew member falls to the ground, exhausted, losing his grip on the rope. And as he falls back, we see Rowan's arm shoots into frame, catches the rope one-handed, and she reaches a hand down, and we see seeming to almost glow with her own illumination, Rowan lifts him back to his feet and helps him back to the rope, and they pull. We see a cannon come loose as the ship is thrashed. There's a snap of ropes, and a cannon begins to roll across the deck. Several sailors dive out of the way. Anna Cromwell, who is in the process of leading a bucket brigade that is bailing water out of the bottom of the ship, turns as this cannon is rolling towards her, inches from her, before the leading edge of it illuminates blue, and we see Nimue, eyes glowing, is reached out and shoves the cannon back across the deck, where several sailors lash it down. We look back to the to that same stern castle where as the ship is rocking to and fro, sailors with decades of experience at sea are staggering back and forth, having trouble staying upright, and yet in all of this chaos on the deck below the stern castle, in front of the captain's quarters, Sela is perfectly perched, sitting inside her ritual circle, which is this sort of beacon of aquamarine light surrounding her, as crew members continue to rush over and gather around her, and she incants her ritual of water breathing on the crew. I would like all of you collectively to make a boat stuff roll for me as we roll into the worst of the storm here. And remember, you get an extra +2 because of Phyxis's intervention.
Is this just like a straight check, or is it a
D20 plus your proficiency plus whatever your like best modifier is.
Okay.
+2.
+2. 24 for me.
24, 18,
23.
23,
Wait, 25.
25.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Hold on.
Hold for math.
Hang on. We're playing D&D.
28.
Holy
Sorry.
crap.
Forgot my
Okay.
proficiency bonus.
I actually got a 26.
23.
Okay, so with an 18 as the lowest roll, so a very good set of rolls, you guys managed to battle this storm. There ain't nobody on the ship who's sleeping right now. All hands are on deck. All hands are like manning every part of the ship that they can. You see like Grohl half hand.
I also forgot to end my.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, then everybody's above a 20. The Grohl half hand is on the deck. He's helping out. He's using his one good hand. He like grabs a bundle of rope and just wrenches it down. Tea Kettle is well the hell down from the crow's nest in all of this. And you see like occasionally Tea Kettle like it's like kind of like flitting around people's legs. Just like providing support here, there, and everywhere. You guys continue to, to sort of do your thing, keeping charge of the ship. Apora Dazan, once Phyxis like takes over, Phyxis kind of like handles normally Apora Dazan would be up on the stern castle, like Murderbeard would give a command, and Apora would be like bellowing it out. Once like Phyxis gets that covered magically over the storm, Apora Dazan like not needed up there anymore. Climbs down from the stern castle, is above deck for a while, just like pitching in wherever needed. At a certain point, like in the deepest part of an hour, there is a call of alarm goes up from below deck, and immediately a sailor like runs up and like yells out over the storm like we've got damage below, we're taking on water. And Anna Cromwell immediately like, you, come on! Runs downstairs with 3 people. Apora Dazan like runs after them. They go below decks to like fix whatever you have like broken down below. But you guys continue to keep the boat in one piece. You keep moving in as best you can. You are continuing to move like southwest-ish. And the night progresses towards the wee hours of the morning. You've like reached that sort of like pre-dawn, like grim grayish color to the sky. The storm, you think, may be finally relenting. Make those who feel their characters have the appropriate like nautical or like meteorological.
I know what you're about to
What's
do.
the word I'm saying?
It's meteorological, and we're in the eye of the storm right now.
That is what I want you to make a check to like determine. Make me we'll call it a wisdom check.
Oh. Wait, that's a D12. Okay. Well, I'm having a night. Okay. Oh, that's not too... A wisdom check?
Yes.
19.
Okay.
Wait, do I get proficiency with that?
Probably.
22.
Okay.
16.
Okay. You guys actually don't think this is the Eye of the Storm.
Okay.
You think the Eye of the Storm was further to the east than where you are. You guys think you didn't quite sail right through the center of this, which means as the storm like notches down from like an 11 back to a 10, you're actually fairly certain that like you are on the other side and it is like going to get better finally. Not to say that like things are not still dangerous. You still have probably several hours before things really begin to like level off, and the crew has been at this for 12 hours at this point, essentially. Go ahead and make me, as a group, one more boat stuff check. However, keep your +2 for Thyxis, doing his thing. However, I want you to make this roll at disadvantage, as you guys have all taken a level of exhaustion. And I'll roll for the crew.
What am I rolling?
18.
Boat stuff with disadvantage.
Oh, both sides of this.
That's
Not
only a
good. Not
10
good,
for
fam.
me.
10?
10.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
Roll a natural 4.
The only one I didn't hear was Christie's, I think.
18.
18. Okay. You guys continue to like battle the storm. You make your way. As you get sort of towards the tail edge of it, the rain begins to lessen. The waves are not quite as high. Murderbeard, you're actually able to like let out a little bit of sail and continue and try to like catch the wind a little bit to like maneuver the ship with a little more control. The crew, like, for a moment collectively, the group of you, like, kind of have this sort of, like, you've all been, like, acting in such, like, synchronicity for so long that you're almost on this, like, mind link wave level. And, like, the crew collectively kind of, like, breathes a little bit of a premature sigh of relief. Like, as things ease back, you kind of, like, everybody gives into their exhaustion for just like a second, and in that second, like a rogue buck of the ocean like jostles the ship, and there is like a kind of a thud and a sharp like ah, and you hear a splash, and several cries immediately go out of like man overboard. Somebody has gone into the water. What are you guys doing?
Hold on, I got it. I'm gonna jump overboard and turn into a dolphin.
Okay.
Because if I become a shark, they're gonna be really scared. So I'm gonna go look for them as a dolphin.
Okay. Then so you guys hear man overboard, and then like Sela's like dives off, splish, second splash. You hear like a slightly more confused two men overboard. And Sela, make an investigation check as you turn into a dolphin in the water.
Okay, hold on.
I guess just perception check is really more
That's
appropriate
fine.
here.
I can. All right, we'll do the blue and white dice for dolphins.
Alrighty.
You said perception?
Perception.
Okay, good. That's a 19. I rolled
19.
an 11 on the die, so...
You turn into a dolphin. I can't make a dolphin noise. You echolocate. Dolphins can echolocate, right? I think they can.
I mean, not on their stat block, but sure.
Whoever heard of
In
stat
real life,
blocks?
they can. It's fine.
Well, oh no, I do have blind sight for 60 feet, though.
Yeah, you echo. That's your sort of like, you let out a tone, something in your, like, bulbous dolphin head vibrates in return. And you can sense a form in the ocean about 40 feet from you. That is...
Yeah, 60-foot swim speed. We're dashing.
No problem.
I mean, I'm sure it's difficult terrain in the storm, but still.
Under the water, it's actually not as bad. So you're able to, like, reach over to them and immediately, like, you sort of, like, swim into whoever this person is. You feel like a pair of arms kind of, like, wraps around your dorsal fin.
Who is it? Is this some rando?
I don't think you can necessarily, like, tell that at this point in the, like, murky, stormy water.
Okay, I'm pulling them back towards the ship.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing? Is, like, somebody fell over, and then Nimue dove, and then on the the downswing turned into a dolphin and hit the
Sela,
water.
You mean Sela dove?
Sela, sorry.
Nimue was watching though.
I would have run over and I'll throw down a rope.
Okay.
Just get back to the ship.
So you have a rope. Anybody else doing anything in particular at this point?
No, the girls seem to have it covered.
Okay. So Rowan, you've got
I
your
think
rope.
we're all confident. We're all
Matt,
confident. she's got
Scott,
it
you
handled.
gotta start making make it like a Sharknado, you know, like a storm. I got
Yeah,
this.
a water spout comes up and throws your dolphin and your shipmate 300 feet straight in the air. Now what do you do?
Oh shit!
Triangle,
no, so
bitch.
yeah. Druid. You guys see a dolphin breaks the surface, grabbed on, clutching around their dorsal fin is Anna Cromwell, actually.
Does Anna look hurt, or is she
does not appear to be.
okay?
Appears to be in pretty good condition. Doesn't actually seem necessarily all that panicked. Which, as you kind of think about it, it's like she did fall overboard, but she went into the water and was totally fine because she can breathe. So
Yeah.
she wasn't really at risk of drowning. A dolphin came and picked her up 2 seconds later. She seems to have kept her cool pretty solidly.
I just make sure I have a good grip on the rope, and when she grabs it, I'm pulling her up.
Make a athletics check to get that rope to them.
Can I help to give you advantage?
I got athletics check.
Yeah, you can do it with
that's
advantage.
Oh, okay. Just in case.
Yeah, with Nimue will help
Okay,
you.
so with advantage, it's a
Nimue,
dirty 20.
Telekinetically
I
yeets
used
it
I
even
used
more.
pick up the loose rope.
Yeah, it's a dirty 20 with advantage. So.
Okay. So you throw out a line. Anna Cromwell catches it with the hand not holding the dolphin. Immediately
Oops.
twirls to loop it around her forearm, and then will hang on, and she lets go of the dolphin, but essentially is you kind of get from her posture, she's holding the rope, but she turns, and she's essentially waiting that if if Sela turns back into a Sela to grab
her.
Sela so that you can both be pulled up. So she's got the rope and she's waiting to see what the dolphin is gonna do.
What is Sela gonna do?
What did dolphin do?
What that dolphin do?
I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna let out a little dolphin noise of that as best as I can communicate. You go first, one at a time, because the water's nice. I'm just vibing right now. I'm just
Sure.
chilling.
Sure.
I'll come up on the next
I'll
rope
pull Anna
throw.
up.
All right, so you sort of haul her back up. She gets to the top. As you get to the top, you can grab her arm, her other arm. She slaps it onto the railing and easily clambers back onto the back onto the deck.
Yeah, I just pat her on the back and then I throw the rope back down to Sela.
She kind of she's she gets out of the way.
Yeah.
I will grab the rope with my little dolphin mouth, and then I'll transform and become myself again.
Are you still holding the rope with your mouth the whole way up?
I'm just hanging on like a dog. No, it's when I transform, I'm holding it with my hands.
Okay. You guys managed to pull Sela back up.
No
All right,
problem.
you pull Sela back up. Sela, you're back on the boat. You guys are continuing to navigate through, and you have averted a crisis in the last hours of this. As you get
I'm
get
gonna
back
put a
up.
hand on Anna's shoulder, and I just look at her, and I'm like, "Are you good?"
She's kind of she's laying back. She's okay, but she's definitely it's tired, breathing heavy. You put a hand on her shoulder. She gives you I will survive. Thank you kindly for the rescue.
Almost turned into a shark instead.
She says, I suppose I appreciate the I appreciate the friendly figure in the moment of danger. But you will remember that I am the one that carved the figurehead on the ship. I know what you're about. I'll be all right.
Dolphins are arguably less friendly, but I won't give you a biology lesson now. They look nicer.
All right. So you guys sail on through the storm, having successfully navigated it without any major catastrophes befalling the ship. By the this is day 9. It's the morning of day 9. The worst of the storm has passed. The sky is still kind of overcast and kind of cloudy and grim a little bit. But the storm is definitely behind you, and you have relatively smooth waters ahead of you. There she goes. The Grimm's Folly did not take any damage during that storm, as you guys succeeded pretty handily on all of your checks. You didn't lose any crew members or anything like that. You guys do all have a level of exhaustion here on day 9. And as y'all sail on, Murderbeard, you do notice, like, you guys did still end up probably the better part of a day off course, a little bit in the storm. Nowhere near what you would have lost having sailed around it, you now realize, based on, like, the size of it that you encountered, but you are gonna have to, like, course correct a little bit. You've ended up too far south, and you need to, like, correct a little more westerly for where you're trying to head. Make anybody who, like, would be in a position to be, like, scanning the horizons as you're going, can make a perception check. I'm gonna make one for Tea Kettle specifically, and then, like, any of you guys who want to, who feel you would be, like, scouting the horizons can do so as well.
It's only an 8.
Okay.
I got a 13.
15.
22.
Okay. I didn't hear Christy, but it sounded like
11.
11. Okay. I was going to say 7. That was close.
7-11.
Okay. Murderbeard. You're actually the only one who rolled highly enough. To your left, to the port. Left port. Left is port, right is starboard. Am I crazy?
Yeah, left is port.
To the port side of the ship. Maybe a few hours sail, like, further out of your way, you spot something on the horizon. You are pretty sure you can see what looks to be the mast of a ship. Just at, like, the absolute limit of your like, vision. You doesn't seem that anybody else on the ship has noticed it. Even, like, Tea Kettle up in the crow's nest has not raised any kind of, like, alarm for anything, so you think, like, you are maybe the only one who has spotted, like, potentially a ship way out on the horizon, like, kind of out of your way.
Don't you have a spyglass? Like a...
Where is
Probably.
Lexus?
Where's Lexus? I guess I should ask that question. Like, you guys are in the sort of the morning of your 8th day. You have all been up. You have a level of exhaustion. Like, at some point, if you guys are like, I'm going to sleep, just let me know that, like, you guys are resting.
I'm probably still walking around the deck of the ship using prestidigitation to clean off anything that I see from the night before.
I am probably, like, helping where I can on the deck, but stopping back up to the captain a lot to like show him druidcraft stuff, and I am there if he needs me to control water to put us on the like treadmill running towards wherever we need to go for 10 minutes if we need it.
Okay.
Nimwe's like falling asleep on the deck.
I think Rowan probably would have gone down and checked in with Vadric, who's our surgeon, and anyone who's like hurt, just to try to help.
Sure. Minor bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
Vadric is essentially his Vadric's like not diagnosis, but Vadric's like prescriptions for people range from like essentially mild, like he's got a few like poultices and things like that to put on like he's essentially got like medieval fantasy Neosporin that he's putting on people who have like more severe lacerations. That is sort of the like the severe end of the things that he is trying to treat. The majority of the stuff is being treated with a hearty suck it up, you'll be fine, like you're a pirate, take your lumps. Nobody seems to have most people seem to have like not fared too badly. It's a lot of like bumps and bangs and bruises and things like that. I would have just
checked on everybody and then probably gone back up to the deck and seeing Nimue like falling asleep on the deck. I probably would have just sat next to her and been like, oh my god. And like Rowan would start kind of like they would do like the lean on each other at the same time thing and just kind of like
okay.
They don't want to leave the deck, but they're gonna sleep up there.
Yeah, it's definitely a pride thing. I rolled for it. I'm like, she rolled a 3. She fell asleep on the deck. She didn't go down.
No.
Rowan just doesn't want to leave everybody on the deck right now. She's like, I'll stay here in case there's more yelling and I need to get up here fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what? There's one more roll I should have made. An 18? Or is it a 15? These are not these dice.
I put a whirlpool in front of the ship.
I think it's a 19. So, Murderbeard on the deck, on the stern castle. As an amendment to my statement earlier, Apora Dazan is like at your shoulder. Is like seems absolutely unaffected by like the fact that y'all are like fully exhausted and have just spent like 12 hours fighting a storm. Is like ramrod straight as ever, like totally like unruffled. Just kind of like as you were looking over the horizon, you like kind of turn, you see Apora is behind you. They look kind of up towards the crow's nest and then back to you. And they say, "It does not appear even Tea Kettle has spotted that. It's out of our way."
Murdered is going to. This is probably standard fashion, so like, I would think that like, somewhere by the wheel there is like somewhere we store like equipment.
Sure.
Murderbird will pull like the large like spyglass, so I'm imagining that like Murderbird goes for that, and Apora knows to like they come up and sort of sand whatever because it's like it needs to be stretched out and like rested on their shoulder.
Sure.
It's like fucking huge. And I will take a look at the ship.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Oh wait, okay, so they saw another ship?
Murderbeard and Apora Dazan, it appears, spotted.
Okay, cool. I completely missed that.
So with disadvantage?
Not with the humong. Now that you know it's here, and not with the. Oh well, I mean you're exhausted, so yes. Right, ability checks and saving throws have disadvantage.
Okay, so perception, you said?
Yes, a perception.
What if Lixus enlarges the spyglass?
Hey, I rolled 2 10s, so it's a 13.
With a 13, what you can make out is that it is not the mast of a ship. It is the masts of 2 ships that are essentially on top of each other. You are otherwise too far away at this point to like see any further detail. You would have to turn course and sail at it to get closer to be able to like see anything else, even with the increased magnification of your comically large spyglass.
Well, it's not comically large. That's accurate. You would like, you have large spyglasses.
You're like
in the field.
Sure,
You would have
but
to
you
put
also-
on the shoulder of somebody
but
else.
also you're a dwarf.
Well, yeah,
So
so it-
you and so the height
Everything is
differential means
comically large.
it does mean that either Pora Dazan has to take a knee so that you can do this, or you're on a step stool. One of the two of those things is true.
Hold on. Hold on.
Is it like a cartoon where at the end of the spyglass, like you
Alright.
just see a massive
Yes,
cartoon
and you have a
eye?
huge
Hey,
eye and it
step
blinks.
Heads is
wait.
a step stool.
Okay.
Tails.
This is maybe
they're-
more
they
important
go
than the
down.
brioche situation.
Step stool.
Absolutely. Apora, get me my large spyglass and my step stool. Of course, Captain. So you like get up on the step stool. Apora sort of turns, leans their head to the side. You rest the spyglass and are able to look. But you can see that you are going to. It is what you can see with this perception check. It is 2 ships. But to get any further information, you're going to have to divert the course of the ship and get closer to these, costing yourselves probably a half a day. But you know, being able to check out whatever this is.
I will summon the council, whatever the fuck. What I forget. I can't think of the word.
The officer corps is what
I
I've
couldn't
been
think of the word
referring to.
officers.
Officer on deck.
They summon the council.
Hello.
He says officer on deck, and Nimue and Rowan like fall, like almost like and like crawl over.
Yeah,
Yeah, Thixis would probably look exhausted as well.
I'm still leaning on Rowan. Like, what's important?
Okay, so it could be nothing, but it also could be something. We've got 2 ships way over yonder. And I guess we still have the spyglass out for anyone that wants to take a look.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Pora, with one foot, moves the step stool and then positions himself so that it's on their shoulder and anybody else can take a look.
I'll look.
Well, yeah, let's peek in there.
Future perception rolls are not going to reveal any new information to you guys. There are 2 ships, like so close together that like they're like touching essentially, as far as you can see from this distance, like way out on the horizon, but like further to the east. Yeah, you're like port side because you're heading south by southwest. You would have to like veer off east by about a half a day to like get closer and go check this out.
I mean, I could go fly over and look.
If they can see us, if we can see them, they can see us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. We're all exhausted. We can assume that maybe they just came through the same storm and they're exhausted. But that doesn't mean that they don't have enough people to start a problem for us. And how far did you say they were from us?
About a half day's sail. Probably just long enough to grab a quick long rest before you reach that vessel, if that is the thing that you decide to do.
And then potentially get into a fight with our currently maybe busted ship.
Actually, I mean, you could also theoretically, you can also like
our ship is 100% fine now.
your ship's fine. You can also divert now, sail for half a day, and then reassess the situation, and then make a further informed decision from there. You'll be able to like get a better look at what's going on over there. And then if at that point you want to like fuck off, you totally can. You have absolutely like your options are open to you guys here. You can really make whatever decision. And I think Sela did say like I can turn into a big old bird and fly that way. Keeping in mind that like it is.
I can do it for 4 hours. I can be a bird for 4 hours. So
like
we would
you're
need
gonna
to go in that direction a bit.
you'd be flying a very, very far amount of like distance over completely open ocean, like in that direction, in bird form. So it's like something to keep in mind.
Guys, you put the thing in front of us that is like the siren song of D&D players of like, what's this thing over here? That's exactly where you're not going. Guys, I want to know what it is. But Scylla would say we should keep going.
Does it seem like they could be also on track to going where we're going, or are they going in the opposite direction?
I don't think you can tell from this distance.
I mean, if we can still move in our direction and like keep them in our sights, and then reassess and like we can rest, I would vote for that and keep moving rather than like moving towards them right now.
Yeah.
That's my vote. I don't know how everyone else feels, but that would be
Keep them
Rowan's opinion.
inside for as long as they're inside. Then if they seem to be following a similar direction,
Right. If they start coming at us, we all get up and handle it. Like, for all they know, our ship's disabled and we're all dead and it's just floating, and for all we know, that's what's happening over there. Like, we don't know the condition of anybody or anything right now, but we can keep moving. And the whole point of going through the storm was to keep moving.
Well, the race is a good point. What if they have treasure?
Then we can get the treasure after we sleep.
Apora says, perhaps an option in the middle. We can adjust the angle of our course slightly to continue us on our path, but keep us in visual range of the ship for slightly longer to allow us to assess slightly closer to gather more information without costing us too much time.
Yeah, make a loop.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That's... Yes.
Apora, as Nimue massively yawns, Apora goes,
I look at
Apora
Francis for his opinion.
Perhaps.
Like this yawns too.
Apora says, perhaps you all should retire and rest. I will maintain the ship until such a time as we should reevaluate the other vessels. Alrighty.
That's fine.
Apora kind of like, she says, I am not especially more intelligent than the average individual. I am, however, extremely logical. And it is a surprisingly rare quality among denizens of the realm.
I know, you can't really teach it.
So you guys all get like shoot off to go take a nap and make sure that you are fresh for action if
yes, please.
that ends up being what happens. So you guys don't get the long rest just yet. But like this next bit is not going to interrupt the taking of a long rest. After about 4 hours, about a half a day of sailing, you guys are like roused and summoned back. And Apora gestures now very much to the port side of the ship as you guys have continued like southwesterly, so that it's essentially like the ship in the horizon is like kind of going like this as you guys continue straight. So it's now like very much over there. But Apora has like the comically large spyglass again, and says, I believe we may be close enough that you may glean further information to inform our next move. We are at the point where we must either divert course towards the vessels or divert away to continue on our original course.
I'll grab the spyglass if nobody else is doing it.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Flora says it is time to either make the decision to divert towards those ships or divert away towards your original course. And you are theoretically close enough now to like get a better look and make like a more informed decision. So anybody that is gonna like spyglass look. Actually, well, since Rowan took the initiative here, Rowan, make a perception check.
That's pretty good for Rowan. Let me check my number again. That's a 17. That's
Okay,
pretty good for
with
me.
17, you can make out some stuff. The first thing that you can make out is that the two ships are in fact like they have to be attached to each other in some way. That's how close they are. Both of them have their sails like completely furled in. Doesn't actually look like they are underway anywhere. They are also not of a similar design. They are two ships made, you are pretty sure, by like very different shipbuilding styles. One of them, with a 17, you can tell one of them is definitely like elven in design, similar to the Grimm's Folly. So you think it's maybe an Ignean ship. Actually, with a 17, what I'll tell you, because you just encountered, this is the same style of ship. This is like a fast attack frigate, an Ignean fast attack frigate. It's the same style of scout ship that you encountered back when you guys fought a couple of them. The other ship you don't recognize the design of. With a 17, the other thing that you recognize is that the Ignean ship is not flying the Ignean naval flag on its central mast. There is a solid yellow flag being flown on the top of their mast.
What does that mean?
What? Can I history check to know what that means? Or
You can history check. Are you sharing what you have seen?
Yeah, everything I see, I say, but I also want a history check. So I'm pretty.
Okay, and at this point, like if anybody else is like grabbing the spyglass, you can make that perception check.
Yeah,
as
I'll
well.
pass it around, but I got an 23 history to know what the heck a yellow flag means.
Okay.
19.
These are history checks for the flag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
22 perception.
Okay.
Yes, 22 perception.
So Nimue, you like look at the spyglass. Rowan, Murderbeard, Nimue, Rowan, Murderbeard, Sela. You guys know that a yellow flag essentially is intended to communicate the message quarantine. Do not approach.
I got monkeypox.
Oh no.
Nimue, you can tell with your perception check. You see all the same stuff that Rowan did. You can tell that other ship. And after like a quick conference with Gugnach, that ship is Orcish.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Oh, the fever.
Is this the fever? Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no.
We're not going near those ships. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not. Nope.
But then why is there an Ignean ship with them?
They were probably fighting and then got sick. Like, if you were the orcs and you were sick or maybe sick, and then an Igneans came upon you, were you gonna tell them, "No, don't come here. We have the Amaranth fever that you won't, that like we can't get a cure for." No, you're gonna fight them and let them catch it.
Yeah.
Like,
that would track.
We're not going over there. We can't. Oh wait, I have a question though, because this is just something that I guess Rowan would know. But Rowan is immune to diseases. So can I go over there and not get sick?
So you're like aware that you are immune to diseases in character?
I would assume as much.
Yeah, I guess sure that makes sense. I think you probably know that that's yeah. Yeah, you totally can.
Wow.
I'm not sure if I'm saying that out loud currently, but I'm like I'm thinking that like if they're really like I don't want any of them. I don't know. This is bad. This is
Yeah,
like the me and Scylla conversation over again.
Yeah, internally with your paladin's like knowledge of your sort of ability, you know that like you are
I will be okay.
You are capable, like you could go walk on that ship, and like you are not going to contract. You know, if there's an amaranth fever outbreak, you will not contract it, and like you will not be able to bring it back and spread it to your own ship. Like you are immune.
Oh, so I can't spread it either.
Nope.
You don't catch it.
She's not an
As
asymptomatic
Nimue is
carrier.
Looking, is there any like markers for the type of tribe this is?
There is not specifically. There is no like flags or markings or anything raised on the orcish vessel.
Alright.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, Rowan, I can fly us over there.
Your butt ain't going within a goddamn mile.
We can get on the Don't Try Us, and then I can fly us over there. Just saying.
I guess at this point, Rowan will look to the officers and to Apora, who's standing there, and will tell them, like, I can't catch that. Like, I can go over there. None of you can. I don't know if it's necessarily smart for one person to go on a ship when we don't know what's waiting. But you guys literally cannot go there. If I go there and something goes wrong, you cannot come help me.
Right.
Because you will infect the entire crew.
Right.
Are you certain that amaranth fever is the cause of that situation?
We're not.
We're not, but given that it's the most common big one around here, and the orcs that we just helped were searching for a cure, what's to say that other orcish tribes didn't go looking for cures elsewhere and even came out into the waters to travel to find a cure?
What
we don't know and we can't know.
What do we serve to gain by approaching these vessels?
Information from the Ignean ship.
I don't know if we'll gain
Finding
anything.
more
We don't.
Igneans?
Do these ships look new, or do they look like they're like weathered and like beats of crap? Like they've been out here for
The
a while?
Ignean ship looks new. The Orcish ship, from what you can tell, is not like particularly nice.
Part of me just wants to make sure that they're okay.
What if the orcs already killed all the Igneans and threw them overboard and are just hanging the flag to make everybody else avoid coming near them?
What if the Igneans
What if it's reversed?
the orcs?
Our Nimue is.
Yeah.
Are you like Gugnok is here, but Gugnok does not understand anything that is not being relayed to him in Orcish by you.
Translate
Okay.
what's going on for him because I feel like Nimue's asking like, is there any like markers that like? Because she's like, what do I look
Sure.
for tribes? So I feel like Nimue's off to the side with the spy
Okay.
classic Gugnok being like, are these your
Gugnok thinks it's weird that it's like an Orcish boat at all. His general opinion is like orcs don't belong on water.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like,
Seems sussy.
sometimes, like, look, we have boats, but like, really for only when we really need them. Like we're like people who are supposed to be like on land.
On the land. Yeah.
Where the fact that we are like strong and brutal is to our advantage. The sea like robs us of that, and like that sucks. So he's like, it's weird that there's like an Orcish ship to begin with. Like he's like my people don't go on the sea that often. His general opinion, like as you sort of relay some of these things to him, he's like, he really has he's not like a super intelligent or insightful dude. His opinion is like, if there is like some people over there that we can maybe kill, like I'm into that. I'm always into that.
Fair. I'm also.
But
into that.
also, like, if you just want, like, you know, if like you're thinking what I would do, as Thixis' thought is like, what if the orcs just killed all those Igneans and are now just like waiting there to lure people in? He's like, yeah, I'd like that makes sense to me. I would definitely do that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I don't- his insight is essentially like, I think the most that he has to offer is very much like, if there are orcs that are not Longtooth or Long Ears over there, it is most likely that they are looking for a fight. And we should do that. Let's fight them.
I will
I-
add Knock's translation to the conversation. Just on the table, because like them was like honestly.
You sort of like anything of like, well, what if there's like a quarantine and they're sick? He's like, probably not. Fight them.
Did they like find the cure anyway? Like, don't they have like means of like curing it now?
His people have have the means to make the medicine. That back to his specific tribe, the cure for the amaranth fever is not widespread, as like the resources to make it are largely controlled by the Empire. That flower only grows natively inside the Empire's territory. So like a lot of folks in this region would not have access to it.
Okay. Well, I put it on the table for his sake. And kind of mine.
I have a dumb idea.
Oh. I'm down for dumb ideas. What do you got?
I touched the necklace that I got in Terra Libra. The one with the beads.
Oh.
It has Windwalk on it.
Oh.
And I can control how many creatures can go over there. And since I don't want any of you all coming with me,
But if we're wind, can we get diseased?
I don't know. We're not gonna try.
If we're wind?
We're not gonna try. But I can, in theory, get myself over there safely and back. It lasts for like 8 hours, so I have plenty of time to get my own butt over there and
I
back.
can also
Questions you only hear in a D&D
Yeah.
session.
You are not coming near the goddamn ship.
Can I get
You
Rowan,
can get sick.
Rowan, what did I say about making choices for other people?
I laugh and I just look at her and I'm like, you're willingly making it harder right now.
What if we're the wind and we just surround like the outside, like give you a quarantine bubble? Like we'll be wind on the outside, then you go in.
If the decision seems to be that you would like to investigate the ship,
I have no interest, but they all want to go do things and risk their lives.
they say
I'm trying to find a cheaper way.
if the prevailing opinion is that the risk is an amaranth fever outbreak, from what I understand of the illness, we could sail our ship right up to those vessels, and so long as you are the only one to cross aboard the other ship, there will still be no risk to anyone else. Not that I do not appreciate an exceptionally complicated plan involving magics that I barely grasp, but you may be utilizing resources that are unnecessary to take appropriate precautions.
I barely grasp it as well. I just worry that we can control, in theory, who of us goes over. We can't control who of them comes over.
We are making this into a vote. I say we ignore it and continue on our way.
That would be my preference, but all of you kept looking at it.
Victoria wants to know.
So, Apora will look then to see as I think this is probably an important moment in group dynamic here, as voting on stuff is extremely important in pirate culture. So a vote has been cast. So two votes of nay, we do not proceed have been cast.
Yay.
A vote for
you
yay.
wanna go?
Yeah. Orcs and killing Ignians. Nimway's pissed at the Ignians right now. Yeah, but she wants to go fucking murder someone. She votes yay.
Alright. Murderbeard and Thixus, how do you vote? God, I love that there's 5 of you.
I know, right?
Perfect.
I hate it!
We don't have to worry about tiebreakers.
Thixus will vote nay and continue our course.
All right, then I don't think it matters how Murder votes. Do you cast your vote or do you remain quiet?
I have no problem going over there. I'm just not getting on.
You gotta vote. You
vote.
can't just say either way is fine. You gotta choose.
Yeah. Yep.
You gotta vote.
But we can go to the boat. I'm just not getting on the boat.
So we'll say Murderbeard votes yay. But the nays have it. And Apora like nods and turns to the crew and like calls out the instruction to divert course and head on towards the.
Orcish. Sorry, Gugnak, we were outvoted.
He goes, oh, poop.
Oh, yes.
He says,
well, I tried, man. I tried.
He says, it is well. Perhaps there will be many long years to maim and slaughter where we are going instead.
Don't worry. We'll get that.
Okay, so you guys divert away, and after a while, the flag and the masts disappear over the horizon. You guys continue on your sailing. You have a few days left of your sail. So Thixis, I know you had said that specifically you had something that you wanted to do, but you wanted to wait until like just before the end of your journey. So like now's your moment here. You know, probably by like midday. Well, let's call it like evening time, a little after dinner on the like 11th day. You know, by like mid morning tomorrow, you should be arriving in the area of the Iolaquis Atoll.
Right, well, I'd probably go into the captain's quarters and join Captain at some point after that, and just basically I'll just walk in and say, Captain, how are you doing? How are you holding up?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. You feeling okay? Everything still okay?
Yep.
You know, with the chains and everything's good?
As far as I know, I haven't learned anything new.
Well, I guess I was just kind of curious on what's the plan going to be when we arrive?
The plan for my powers, or just in general?
Just in general.
Well, our plan is probably going to be similar to what it always is we get there, we see what's up, and then we fuck up the proper people. So...
I'm going to be honest, I'm a little nervous about this one. I mean, I feel like we're going to... I mean, I think this is it. I think this is one that's going to be the one that we cross paths with the Brotherhood. I just really feel like it is. And I mean,
well,
gosh, if Nimue sees one of them... We're going to have a really good plan in place, I think.
Well, our plan is probably to murder them horribly, so I don't particularly know that we need a plan. Also, I'm certainly not getting in between Nimue and...
Oh, I wasn't saying I would either. That would be a death wish.
I like my head on my shoulders.
Agreed, 100%. I just don't think we need to. I'm just afraid that if we run into a Brotherhood member and we kill them right away, then it'll take us longer to get to our goal, right? We're trying to get to this Pendragon character, right? Oh, I almost forgot. I'm not supposed to say that, right? What do we call him?
Was that Captain, established? Are we not supposed to say that?
I don't know.
Not in the
hushed around everyone else.
Not in the Stradvan Zarovich way that we established in our other game, but in the like, don't go yelling Pendragon in the streets way type of way.
No, you can say it here, Thixis.
Okay.
Just
I'm
don't go
making
around
sure.
saying it when we're in public.
Got it. I just feel like we need to have a plan in place with the rest of the crew. And when we get there, that will help further our goals and help us reach this Pendragon. So we can put an end to all of this.
Probably not a bad idea. Suppose we should talk to the rest of the crew and come up with a plan. May not also be a bad idea for somebody to talk to that former Brotherhood guy from that other group to know what to expect.
Oh, that's a great
From them.
idea, Captain. Who has the mirror?
I do.
Oh, okay. Good.
Do you
Oh, so
do you
you-
want to use
so-
it?
So you'll be able to dial them up, no problem.
Yeah, I guess I will, Faces. I was gonna let you borrow it, but
Oh no! You thought of the idea.
yeah, me and my big fucking mouth thought of the idea.
You do have like a couple of days before you arrive yet, if you're wanting to postpone that particular moment until, I don't know, you have 2 hats at the ready or something.
Like I don't fucking have the other hat right here.
Well, I'll leave that up to you then. You'll have another opportunity for this if you want to do it another time.
Let's say this, Nexus. Why don't we talk to the crew, and then we'll talk to that other guy, and maybe the other crew wants to talk to him too.
Sounds like a good plan.
Michael really tried it.
I just didn't want to make everybody sit here and watch while I have to roleplay
Talk to
2
yourself, yeah.
characters.
Okay. So you taking your leave, or are you?
Do we want to have that
Yeah,
conversation now, or we're doing it later? With like the crew.
You guys.
We could do it now. If you want to gather the crew, we can gather
we-
the officers.
Can we make it canon that we have a special whistle that is like the summoning of the officer's whistle?
Yeah.
All right, I bring out my Oscar Mayer Wiener whistle and I blow for the crew.
Hello. I was actually standing outside the whole time. Hi.
Oh, good. We don't have to fill you in.
Thesis goes to open the door and Scylla's just standing there.
The crack of thunder goes off in the background. So looming
Gosh,
over.
how long have you been standing there?
An hour.
Oh gosh.
You open the door. You open the door directly into Scylla's face, and she just goes, "What of it?"
Here, please come in.
Thank you. I'm here.
Yeah, we show up.
So, Master Thixus here has brought something to my attention that I thought should be discussed amongst the rest of us. There's a fairly good chance that we will encounter one of the aforementioned Brotherhood on this island. And he thinks it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some sort of more formal plan in place for when we encounter such a thing.
Besides murder.
Well, murder is like the end goal, but maybe there's a few steps between that and murder.
I mean, I'm open to options, sure. I'm open to ideas for steps. To get
What did you?
Interrogation, information, murder.
Murder. Yeah, interrogation seems smart.
What else did you have in mind, Captain and Thixus?
Well, we also suggested speaking to the orc fellow from the other group to get some more info on what dealing with them might be like.
Good idea. Well, since you're holding the mirror, why don't you contact him right now?
Yeah, I will.
I can't take credit for that one at all. That was all Captain's idea.
I
You
will
are
take
our
out-
captain.
I will take out the mirror.
Or something.
So stupid.
Do we have to do anything to like what? How do we activate the mirror? Is it just
We've literally just been like shaking our hands as if we're shaking on the mirror, like for
Mirror,
being idiots.
mirror on the wall. You have to say like
It's
some
alive. Knock on it.
If you're looking for me to me to give you guidance here, I will give you none.
Okay.
I am I am the least involved in this situation in any capacity the DM could be. This is your character talking to your other character via magical mirror that I gave you. Go to town. I will not be present during this scene in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, great.
The ruin that will follow, be it entirely at your feet.
So again, I take out the mirror and I use whatever sort of. I'm like,
Sure.
knock on the glass. I will ask one question. Where are the fools presently in this timeline?
They're just vibing. They're literally just vibing.
So
We're ahead of them
theoretically,
timeline-wise.
you are ahead of them timeline-wise.
Into the future.
You are in the future. You're in the future for them. So keep it vague, I guess. They probably have set out from Terra Libra towards their next thing at this point.
Okay.
So they're like traveling, much as you are.
Okay, so I guess there's like the sounds of like fumbling and like a bunch of cursing as like the mirror is pulled from wherever it is, and then I guess the visage of Brahm on like horseback appears. Yeah, what's up? What do you want? We're just hanging out. Yeah. Yeah, well, how's everything going? I hope it's going well. Do we really have to do like weird small talk? Can you just call me on the mirror and you ask whatever you gotta ask? Yeah, I guess. Okay. So, we're headed out, and we have the possibility that we might be running into some of your former compatriots, and I was hoping that you might be able to give us a little bit of detail on what that might be like. And you know who was really interested was our friend Rowan, and Murderfiend's gonna hand the mirror to Rowan.
Why me?
Look, I don't know. I just handed the mirror. I could do it too. And Murderfiend hands it to Zintress.
Yeah, we got. Who was got the woman in the background? There was no woman with them when we were there. Rowan asks who she is. Who is that, Rowan?
Ah, the tables have turned.
DM down.
Damn down. We just
Yeah, they can't see, but Matt was actively on the floor.
Oh my god. Son of a bitch.
What did I ever do to you? I'm not the one that makes you talk to yourself.
Oh god damn it.
full circle. Let's go.
I like to think that like Brom went to hand it over, and Zintress is like, I don't fucking know anything, and like pushed it back.
You hear off of the mirror. You hear like, "Give me the mirror, or I'll tell them about it."
Oh no.
No, we're good. We're good, Oz.
That's a good call. I haven't been paying attention to anything that's happened for several months.
I wasn't prepared.
I did throw a guy out
yeah,
of a
but-
tower, though.
That was.
What can I do for you, my pirate friends?
Who was that woman that we saw for 0.2 seconds with the purple hair?
That's the latest hire. She's on a trial basis. Sort of a temporary trainee.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Sure. I guess we won't worry about it today. I hate you guys.
She pushed a guy off a roof when we met her, so we figured she was a good fit.
Pretty fair, Oz. Good call. Thanks, Oz.
Fits our vibe. Bye.
I yell like Rowan leans like as she's talking to her as if like it will make Oz hear her better. She doesn't
It definitely
understand.
doesn't. You just hear slightly from this like, oh shit, is that 5 gold? And then Oz will be out of the scene for the rest of this.
Oh my god.
The Brom is now lit by Walter's dancing lights, and Walter's like, "It's the one thing I do. It's my thing."
Oh god. Oh god. We've lost our minds. It's fine.
You hear you definitely do hear underpinned to all of this is like a steady stream of just like dismayed cursing in various languages as Alar is like somewhere near here. It's like, I can't fucking believe like any of this.
Alar, this is my life.
Somebody has to clip the reversal bit. That's my new favorite moment.
Oz finds
Oz,
5 gold.
You know what?
you,
Thank
stream.
you, Michael. Oz does find gold. Wow.
Oz find 5
Yeah,
gold.
there he is.
Okay. Trying to pretend like we're serious and this isn't all one big joke between all of us.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So we got into a fight with some Ignians already. We grabbed their captain, interrogated him, and I just quickly tell Brom all of the things that we've learned, and then so that group has all that information, aka the notes, and then I say to Brom, what if this special forces is Brotherhood or has Brotherhood members? What do you think we need to know or be prepared for? Because we've never directly met someone deep in their pocket. We've met people associated with them.
Well, it's a bit of a difficult question because the whole key of Brotherhood members is that they're supposed to not look like Brotherhood members, so they often look like normal people. I would say usually people who look like they're in a place where they don't belong is a good match. People asking a lot of questions in places where they don't necessarily should be asking questions. Also, you can look out for the red feathers. They're not often to flash them, but like some of them are more laissez-faire about displaying them than others. I will say, if you decide to question one, they're not going to give up information easily, and usually have to be tricked into giving up said information. And also, I mean, it probably goes without saying that like they should be disposed of once the information is gained, because they'll either report back to the Brotherhood and then that information will no longer be valid, and or like the Brotherhood will find out about it and they're dead anyway. So you're doing them a favor.
Have you guys learned anything new since we saw you?
I don't know.
I'm gonna pull a DM string in this one, in the fact that you guys are offset in time here. Means we probably should come back to that.
As soon as I said it,
we'll
I was like,
flash back to
timeline.
that question once they have reached an appropriate point. So at some point in a future session, we'll hop back to this conversation and we'll give some information. But they like
just say Rowan and Brom talk for a minute.
Conversation.
Goes, yeah, here's what happened, and then there's a loud censored.
And then so there there is information that they have, but there is more that is very shortly going to be incoming. that they need to get through before like it
I don't want to play
is.
next week.
So like we'll jump back and like finish that moment of that scene when it makes sense to do so as you guys have advanced like a week worth of time ahead of them at this point.
Okay. Any other tips or tricks, Brom? For your old friends?
I guess try not to die. But also, when dealing with the Brotherhood, the direct approach is usually not the best. You probably want to try a little more guile than usual. And the Brotherhood's biggest weapon is oftentimes charm. I know it might be difficult for a bunch of pirates to be charming, but maybe try charm.
What are you trying to say, Brom?
What are you saying?
Do you want to be charming?
I mean, I've got a pretty good charisma score. But...
I'm just trying to give... Yeah, you called me, okay? I'm just saying maybe the more, like, suave approach is better than, like, a fist to the face often with the Brotherhood. So it might be a little change of pace for you guys.
Fist to the face wastes less time.
I agree.
Also, be sure to catch Oz and I's new band, Fist to the Face, live in Valand.
If we ever make it to Valand, we'll come to a show.
I play triangle.
Wait, did we already tell the fools about the group, how the half of the ships were going to that city and half of them were going... You know how,
like Rowan gave Brom the rundown at the very start of this.
Okay.
So, like, explaining what we're up to and why we need to know. Yeah.
So I don't think none of that means anything to Brom in a way that would
It's just,
like,
it's
trigger
just
you to
information sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like now the other party will have that info. Okay.
Anybody else got any other questions?
I look at the rest of the crew. Captain, anything else?
No, I'm good.
All
right. Well, if you don't need anything else, I guess I'll say goodbye. And in the future, please hesitate to call. Brom like slots it back.
Okay.
He worries that we're not charming, and Rowan gives it back to Captain.
The mirrors disappear. Okay.
I don't know what that guy's talking about. We're charming as fuck.
Clearly.
I feel like we are all very pleasant individuals to be around and very friendly too.
Very welcoming and accepting.
Yes.
A peaceful people.
A fist to the face is never our first choice.
Yeah, it's usually like a claw or a gun.
Exactly.
Rowan will look at Thyxus really quick and just say, we might need you to talk to them then. I mean, I have some skill, but I think you're the least stab first, ask questions later out of all of us. So if we
I
do
did
run
electrocute 12 Ignians just about a week ago.
That was during a battle. That was during a battle. Talking about if we have one held.
How do we know that with the... I guess we need to figure out if there are Ignians even there first. Wait, do we get to one more long rest in before we go to see these people? Because I would like to change a spell.
Tomorrow, like you'll go to sleep and then tomorrow is the day.
Okay, good. I can locate objects then.
Alright, so you guys, are you like dispersing now or have you other things to discuss? You'll have time tomorrow to like take in the lay of the land and make a plan and stuff like that. But if you have like
I also have ways that I can be extra charming if needed.
I could also make you extra charming if needed. Do we have lead on the
That's
ship? Like a lead box?
Aren't there
Sure.
like the
Okay,
How
because
is
I
lead gonna make me more charming?
No, it's not that. It's that I can locate one of those feather necklaces, but not if Rowan is near me. It will just tell me that it's right there. And I
Well-
point at Rowan.
Brom took mine and did something to it to make it not magic-y,
Trackable.
findable-y.
But it's
Crack-
still the spell I would still say I am looking for a red feather necklace, and it would be like that's
Well, it might
right
not
there.
even be a necklace for them.
To,
It might
yeah,
just
to
be a
clarify,
red
Brom said that
feather.
like the red cardinal feather is the symbol. It's not specifically like that necklace. It's just something to look out for in any shape or form.
Well, that
Whether it
makes
be
sense
like
to make it object
cufflinks
for-
or in a hat or stuff like that. It's not like a this is our union pin.
Well, I can always
We can still
try
put my necklace in a box if that'll make it easier.
It would.
Cardinals are probably a rare bird at sea, so even just searching for a cardinal, I should be saying this in captain voice, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Even
will prepare that for the morning. We need to put the Rowans into a lead box, or just block it with lead block it from me with lead.
Yeah. I think I'd want to. Rowan would hope we have a small enough lead box, so she wants to carry it with her because if we do run into a Brotherhood person, she wants to maybe let it be used part of the interrogations and such. But still, plans for another day.
I still have this cool rock. Guys, what do we want to do with the cool rock?
Oh yeah, all the cool rocks we got. I don't know.
Wait, well, they said she said never to put them all together
And leave them alone.
unattended. And what if we just did on the island and saw what happened?
What if that causes exactly what they're trying to do? On the off chance.
Then we win because we did it first.
I don't know if starting a potential apocalyptic type ending stuff means we win. But sure.
Oh man. Listen, it's late. I'm silly. I'm loopy.
So,
are. I'm
guys-
still trying really hard not to laugh over Matt falling on the floor, so it's fine.
y'all look. Sometimes, things just work out too perfect. It makes me wish that all of you were playing in both campaigns so that we could do that all the time. Anyway, you all dispersed for the night. Have your conversation. You know, it's like time for bed. Time to prepare for, what the day will bring tomorrow. You'll go to your various cabins. You go to sleep. You rest through the night. The third shift, like late night crew, are manning the vessel. And several hours later, in the deepest, darkest portion of the night, Murderbeard, make a perception check.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a nat 1,
You are
so it's a 4.
startled awake. The foot of your bed is sagged down, and the plink, plink, plink of water wakes you up. You startle awake, and you look, and your eyes focus on the form sitting at the end of your bed. There be something on that island, Macbeth.
You gonna tell me what it is?
That's not something I know. Whatever it is,
It's been there a long time. Longer than you can possibly imagine.
Is that, is this you trying to tell me we shouldn't go there, or you telling me just to be prepared?
I don't know what I'm trying to tell you, Murderbeard. I'm dead. I'm just an instrument. I'm just supposed to deliver a message. There be something on that island. It's sleeping. But what's asleep? And always wake up.
And with that, you wake up, and you are alone in your cabin once more. And that is where we'll end the session.
Oh my god. Like, just recreate the scene from Ghost next time with him, okay?
Don't you ever do pottery around me, Murderbeard, or I will have you dead to rights. So that is our session for tonight. Thank you guys at home for joining us. Thank you, as always, my lovely players, for coming and D&Ding with me for a few hours on a Tuesday. Thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Check us out on all of our social medias, on our YouTube. We have things here on Twitch streaming pretty much every day of the week. We have things that stream exclusively on YouTube. All of our past episodes, all of our other shows' past episodes can be found on YouTube. We are essentially proficiency bonus everywhere that you can find us. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and I don't think I have anything else.
It's September, so you can get up to 30% off of a subscription on Twitch, so you should definitely, like, sub to us if you're not already.
Do it. Or
else.
Do it or don't. That's less threatening. But do it, though. For real. Do it. Do it. Thank you for joining us. And as always, we love having you here with us. And we will, of course, see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.